I am definitely nervous, but it's just been dreaming about this for so long that it seems impossible still, but it's here, so I'm excited. Coffee, smoothies, teas, and then I'm gonna have paninis and baked items. For me growing up, I would go to my grandparents' house and they'd always have coffee, so I would be drinking coffee with them, but obviously I didn't have coffee, but it was just that sitting around the table and family and yeah, nostalgia, that's right.
Oh, you'll need a step probably at some point.
I know, I'm sure. I've loved occupational therapy, but the medical field has been wearing me out a little bit, so God just planted this dream of a coffee shop in my heart, and it's been 14 years, so it's taken a long time of dreaming and hoping and planning and researching and learning and hoping and dreaming some more, so it seemed so impossible, but so just, yeah, he just kept leading me step by step and introducing me to different people to help me learn different things, and just been, yeah, it's been a fun process.
2, 1.
Once I was here and saw everything and met Tony, and just, yeah, it just seemed so nice to have just a trailer that was completely ready, exactly like I wanted it, and I get to roll out of here ready to go, so I was excited for that.
Tony, was she good to work with?
She was great, so great, I loved her. She answered my millions of questions of all through these months, so it's been really good. Yeah, if you have a dream on your heart, that, especially if you believe God's putting something on your heart, to really just trust Him and take a step at a time and go after it. Don't fear, no fear. I've had opportunities before where I thought it was going to happen and it fell through, and it's finally happening. Today's the day.